After enjoying the most scenic parts of Mashatu, as well as an unforgettable day in Photo Mashatu's underground hide, it was time to shift our focus to game drives. So this is actually our first full game drive in the central area, and this morning we're looking for leopard. It was freezing cold, but luckily we each had our own hot water bottles. The best place to look for leopards in Mashatu is along the Mashatu riverbed, which is mostly dry during August. The remaining pools of water attract prey like guinea fowl and impalas, and there are plenty of large trees on the banks in which they could rest or hoist their kills. In fact, the previous evening after our afternoon hide session, we had spotted a young male leopard resting on the exposed roots of a massive sycamore fig inside the riverbed. He was extremely relaxed and happy to pose for photographs in the spotlight. Then, all of a sudden, he jumped down and started walking straight towards us. Even though they were way too big for him to catch, he was intent on having a closer look at a herd of wildebeest crossing the riverbed behind us. Not long after we had entered the Mashatu riverbed, our guide Kenosi spotted some fresh predator tracks in the sand.
Right now I'm confident it's a leopard. I'm looking at the terrain, where it is, where I found the tracks. And when I just focus on the track itself, at the back here, it has got like 3 lobes, which is very common with cats. You find that with cheetahs, you find that with lions. And with hyenas, it's only 2. So that's one of the main differences. I suspect, looking at this, aging it, early hours of this morning or late last night.
He was right, they were very fresh.
I cannot believe what just happened. Seconds after Kenosi spotted these leopard tracks, we drove up the bank.
It was really nice.
And then we had passed this tree, this big feverberry tree, and KB spotted the leopard pretty much behind us.
It was a young female perched high up in a feverberry tree, and at the base we could see that she had been feeding on a guinea fowl. After grabbing some leftovers, she walked across to the other side of the riverbed, where she climbed onto the roots of a fallen tree.
What an amazing morning. Beautiful young female leopard was just treating us to some beautiful, beautiful videos and photos.
And that was just the start of it. Not far from where we had left the leopard, we came across 2 light-colored young male lions.
Yeah, it's nice and full as well, isn't it?
With bellies as full as that, they weren't likely to move anytime soon. So we headed back to the Mashatu riverbed, where we found a small family of elephants drinking from some holes in the sand that they most likely dug themselves. Because fresh water bubbles up from below inside, these holes often attract other animals like baboons and impalas as well. Our next stop was at one of the local bee-eater colonies, where scores of white-fronted bee-eaters had made their nests in the bank of the Mashatu riverbed. We watched as they preened themselves, darted in and out of their little holes at lightning speed, and warmed up themselves by using the dark underside of their back feathers as solar panels. And as if we hadn't seen enough already, the Mashatu rewarded us with another leopard sighting before we headed back to camp. It was the same young male from the night before, and like the bee-eaters, he was soaking up the sun on this chilly morning. Mashatu really is one of the best places in Africa to see relaxed leopards, and over the years, I've taken some cracking photos of them. We needed to warm up as well, and what better way to do that than with a hot cup of coffee. You would have seen in this video series that I've started collaborating more and more with different companies, not only to improve the videos, but also to show you some products that really come in handy when you're on safari. Sapmok is one such company. Not only do they make the most comfortable shoes you'll ever wear, but they also support conservation projects. Follow the link in the description below to learn more about their conservation causes and to check out their amazing fillies, boots, and other products. Back at camp, we celebrated Tabby's birthday. Tabby, happy birthday, my love. We had lugged a protective horse riding vest for her with us all the way from South Africa, and her reaction totally made it worth it. The camp staff went out of their way to make her feel special, and Barman Life made her day when he brought her a bottle of bubbly.
Oh, do I have to? Okay.
Cheers, Tabby. Happy birthday, my love. Shortly after the celebrations, we were transferred from Mashatu Lodge, which lies in the center of the reserve, to Mashatu Tent Camp, which is located close to the northern boundary of Mashatu. It's the smallest, most remote of the 4 camps, and if I'm being honest, it's my favorite. The camp's 8 safari tents are not nearly as large or luxurious as those of Tuli Safari Lodge Mashatu, but they are extremely comfortable. They have fans, power outlets, and enough space for all your luggage. One of the things I love about Mashatu Tent Camp is the outdoor bathrooms. Who doesn't love a bucket shower under the trees? And don't worry, it's got hot water 24/7. And if you need to cool down in summer, there's a small swimming pool with plenty of shade around it as well. Another place where you can spend the middle of the day is in the camp high. It's a very basic 2-level structure with comfortable chairs that overlook a small man-made waterhole that's most productive during the dry season. The wild grasses that grow alongside the footpaths and the bird baths scattered throughout camp also attract a variety of birds and animals right throughout the year. The heart of the camp is a large open-sided communal area with a dining room, bar, and lounge. Just like at all the other camps, we were served high tea before our afternoon game drive. And if you were wondering just how good it was,
so it's rock, paper, scissors, best out of 3 for the last cupcake. It's the cupcake.
This is our first game drive from Mashatu Tent Camp, and we decided this afternoon we're going to look for elephants, and literally one of the first things we see is this herd of elephants down in the Mashatu River. After spending some time with the Ellies and a giraffe bull feeding on a gigantic Mashatu tree that completely dwarfed him, we decided to go and look for cheetahs. Having spent so much time driving inside or along the Majali riverbed, we hadn't really given ourselves much of a chance to see these elusive cats during our first few game drives. They prefer the large open areas further south and north of the Majali and Motobole riverbeds, where they have plenty of vantage points and visibility is at its best. Kenosi chose a route that took us from one open plain to the next, and finally, after about 2 hours of searching, I actually spotted her. It was an adult female cheetah who had her eyes on a steenbok, but unfortunately for her, she was being watched as well.
Yeah, those impalas have seen it. Yes. But the impala now is, I think the cheetah was trying to focus on this steenbok right here, and the steenbok has seen it now.
With her cover blown, the cheetah abandoned the hunt and lay down instead, surveying her surroundings from the top of a small rise. I just love it when a plan comes together, and in this case, I have to give credit to our guide Kenosi and our tracker KB, who are not only great company and excellent animal trackers and spotters, but who are also acutely aware of their guests' needs and will go out of their way to fulfill them. The following morning, we had only one goal in mind, and that was to spend as much time as possible with elephants.
I know it's nothing new. It's so good to see you. We do this every day, and I'm still so amazed by you. So hold me tight through the night. Just us two, me and you. Oh, I can't believe you love me. Oh, I just feel so lucky. Oh, still can't believe you love me. It never ends. It's being more than friends. Yeah. You know I'm here to stay every single day. Yeah. So hold me tight through the night.
One of the most special things about Mashatu is that you can stop with a herd of elephants like this and let them come towards you and basically just be surrounded by these gentle giants.
I've seen elephants all over Africa, and nowhere else have I seen them as relaxed as they are here at Mashatu. It was hard to believe that our epic adventure at Mashatu was slowly coming to an end, but luckily for us, the best was kept for last. In the next episode, we stay in the lap of luxury at Mashatu Euphorbia Villas. We spend time with the pride of lions. And to put the cherry on top, we see a leopard kill.